All right. First of all, I just want to say real quick that no, we are sentimental in Austin, and you know, cops. A lot of people think cops don't have feelings. They don't realize underneath that badge and that uniform is a living, breathing human being that actually care very deeply about their mission, about their community, about their fellow officers, and you know, you've been seeing that here when you see a SWAT sniper tearing up and a police chief tearing up. It's because we love one another. You know, there's a narrative in this country right now that I call a false narrative that policing is broken, that 800,000 police officers representing 18,000 police departments are broken, and they're not. They're imperfect, like the human condition. I just like to say that cops matter, and the reason I'm here is because I love being a cop. I love public service, and I believe that I really am coming to a great organization, leaving another great organization that in the last 9.5 years has been on a heck of a journey. I'd like to say I think I left them in a better place, not because of me, but because we empowered them to be excellent. And for those that fell a little short, we held them accountable, and we never apologized for it. Because when 99% of police officers go out and do a great job day in and day out, those 99% deserve leadership that will hold the 1% that taint the badge, dishonor the oath of office, deserve leadership that is willing to lose their job to hold people accountable, and is also willing to lose their job to support the 99%, regardless of what public sentiment might be or whatever. So I just want to tell my team from Austin that I love you guys. You know that the coffee's always on. Matt, I like that new senior police officer rank. But anyway, just wanted to just say that. And to our Houston folks, we're going to have some fun. I really mean that. So I know a lot of, yeah, they're going to, oh my God, there's my sister. I've been working with the folks in Houston for 9.5 years as well. And I think that what's interesting is that law enforcement is about partnerships. And we've actually, our departments have worked very closely on a lot of issues, whether it's been homeland security issues, whether it's been drug trafficking issues, human trafficking issues, the sex trade. The Austin Police Department, the Houston Police Department have worked very closely over the years. I see Captain Jones here, where we've always worked in the legislature on legislative issues to make sure that our state leads the nation in passing laws that are in the best interest of the people we serve. And so, you know, this is nothing new for me. I'm basically coming home to a department that I've considered a full partner for 9.5 years. And to those men and women, I want to tell you that it is a privilege to lead you, and leading is what I plan on doing. And those that don't want to lead probably don't belong in the department, because the men and women on the front lines, especially patrol, deserve the best in leadership, and I know that we're going to provide that. So with that, I just want to say again, thank you, Mayor Turner. Turner's phenomenal. What a phenomenal man. And this council is phenomenal. I've had their characters. It's funny. They all have a sense of humor. They could all be cops because they have that gallows humor. They'd fit right in any police station. And the last couple of weeks with this mayor and this council has been eye-opening, and it has been fun. Chaplain, we talked earlier. I think that we're really good in law enforcement when it comes to providing health services to our folks, and we're really good at providing wellness programs. But I really believe that the chaplain program is so critical, because we have to nurture the spirit. A broken heart or a broken spirit is an officer or an employee, because everybody keeps talking about the cops. So we have 1,200 non-sworn men and women that are truly the unsung heroes of the Houston Police Department, that without them we couldn't do the mission. So it's not just about we get all the accolades as police officers and sworn, but anybody that's been policing long enough knows that we couldn't get out of the gate without the people that are doing the maintenance, and you know, the comm operators that are taking the 911 calls, and the dispatchers that are dispatching us and are keeping us safe, and that are so desperately trying to get us help when we're in trouble. You know, to the crime scene folks, everybody, it is truly a team. But chaplain, I just want you to know that the chaplain program in this police department is going to be really important. We grew that in Austin because we've got to provide fuel for the soul, for those that have faith, and if they don't, that's fine too, but it's going to grow. God's doing great things, and I look forward to working with you and your team and growing the program. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions, and we'll take it from there.
You've been a candidate for a few days. What do you see in the next few days as you start your job here?
Well, I am going to be, like I told the city of Austin back in 2007, I want to be, the relationship of any organization starts with the CEO, and the relationship of the city of Houston starts with the mayor. We've got a mayor that is absolutely respected and does a phenomenal job in bringing people together and creating some synergy. He's selected me to just be his police chief, and I cannot serve him, and I can't serve this council, and I can't serve this community, and I cannot lead this department well unless my heart, what's in my heart, what's on my mind, is known to the people we serve and the people we lead. So in the next days, weeks, and months, you're going to see a police chief that is very visible. You know, my family knows that it is, it's not for the faint of heart, these positions. We're going to be working tirelessly because the biggest cheerleader is the police chief. And by the way, it's like a parental relationship. Every once in a while, they're going to be mad at me because cops are, they love each other. But I've got to look at a big picture. I cannot be myopic. And my decisions can't be made on emotion. They have to be made on what's good for the organization, what's good for the community, and what the law and policy requires. So you're going to see me everywhere, everywhere. I was at the Thanksgiving Day parade. You know, I called the mayor and go, "Hey, Mayor, what do you think about coming in?" "Hey, come on down." That's why I love the guy. And that was fun to see our cops smiling with the community, you know, and not being standoffish. It's just, there's a good spirit. And I'm going to model that relational. Remember, I talked about community policing. Again, policing is about relationships. We are in the people business. Our greatest asset as leaders is the men and women we lead. Our greatest asset as police officers are the community that we absolutely must partner with, whose trust we must command and earn, and it's something we must earn on a daily basis. And so when we do those things, we're going to create some synergy that's going to mean enhanced officer safety. It's going to mean enhanced public safety, and it's going to mean some great things for Houston. So I'll be modeling that relational concept where everybody you meet is an opportunity to touch that person. You're going to either touch them and make them a friend of the Houston Police Department that's going to want to feel comfortable in calling us when they see something and reporting crime and standing up for their neighbor, or you're going to create a foe. And to the greatest extent of our ability, our mindset as police officers and support staff should be that every public contact is an opportunity to plant a seed of hope, of trust, of respect, and most importantly, of partnership, because it is a partnership. Our greatest force multiplier is the community. What else?
Chief, from what you've seen so far, you've been in the community a few days, what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges in keeping Houston safe, and how do you plan to, or I guess what do you plan to go after first?
Well, first, foremost, I want to make sure that we're using our resources as efficiently as possible because, you know, in a world of limited resources, every dollar that we draw from the budget as a police department is one less dollar we have for parks, or we have for libraries, or we have for whatever other myriad of funding needs that the city has. And it's not an empty well. There's actually limited dollars, and I want to make sure that we are working smartly. I want to make sure that we're not necessarily working harder, but smart. You can do it the hard way, you can do it the smart way. We're going to be intelligence-led, right? Data-driven. And so I'm going to really be doing a big assessment. I'm going to be sending out a survey to all members of the Houston Police Department, sworn and non-sworn in support, looking for their input on what their priorities are, on what they think the challenges are, and what they think the opportunities are, and that will be coming out probably in the next week. And then we're going to go hit the ground running. You know, it's a sprint being a police chief, and I rarely slow down. I get in trouble sometimes with that little guy and his mom, but we're going to be out building relationships. What else? Can you please tell me your name so I can start? Again, it's about relationships, right? If you're just saying Chief Acevedo, not know who you are, who you represent, I can't build a relationship with you. So I know you, Trouble. No, not Trouble. He was great. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Megan Flynn. I work for the Houston Press. I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about your approach to the war on drugs. We have a new DA and a new sheriff who have said they want to stop prosecuting misdemeanor marijuana cases. Can you tell us a little bit about your view on some of these issues?
Well, I think you have to go, you can waste a lot of resources taking a guy to jail for 2 ounces of marijuana. In the meantime, while you're booking that person and spending an hour or two booking them, we have a home invasion robbery coming on. We're going to prioritize, from my perspective, saving lives matters. I mean, keeping people safe matters. So violent crime and the reduction of violent crime is going to be key. In Austin, what I told my organized crime division is that we have street-level narcotics dealers that going after them is a quality of life issue for neighborhoods. They don't like having those folks out there trying to poison the children. But if we're really going to impact it, we really have to think big and go after organizations. We have to go after the people that are actually the people behind the curtains. And so we're going to work tirelessly from a drug enforcement, not with the college kid with an ounce of marijuana or two for personal use. We're going to be focusing on those like the Kush epidemic. It is creating some tremendous social issues and health issues. It's a health crisis in this country right now, where it's overwhelming our EMS system, it's overwhelming the hospital system, and I don't want just a street level, I want to go after the source. So we'll be focusing on the source, not on minor stuff. What else?
You got a little bit of taste of it from council members today, and I'm sure you've heard from commentary says, you're not from the department, you're not a hire from within, that you're from, a liberal city of Austin, that you might play politics, if you will, with some of your leadership style. And then there you have assistant chiefs who are putting in their retirement. How do you sort of coming in to affect change but still retain confidence from your rank and file folks?
Well, let's just make something clear. Those assistant chiefs are retiring not because there's a new police chief. So if you're trying to suggest that they're retiring because I'm coming, that's absolutely wrong. I absolutely have a personal relationship with every one of the assistant chiefs in the Houston Police Department. It's a relationship that is almost a decade long. We have worked during training sessions on all kinds of issues. I'm not a stranger to this department. I'm looking at Lori Becker, one of our captains, that has been in Austin a bunch of times doing assessment centers for us, and they've done a tremendous job. So they're retiring because it's a financial issue for them and their families, and I get that. As much as we all want to serve, we have a duty to our families, and we have a duty to make sure that we make decisions based on what's best for our family in terms as we move into retirement and old age. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Everybody wants an insider, and the problem with that is that if you don't look outward as an organization, if you're constantly just looking internally, you start missing a lot of things. And if you think that you've arrived and you're not constantly looking to change things, one of the things that I will never want to hear from my team is, why do we do it this way? And they say, well, this is your first clue that it's probably not what you should be doing. That's just the way we've always done it. And they're going to learn very quickly that is not validation. Validation is, give me what is valid about this approach. Why is it that we're doing it this way? And I ask a lot of questions. And so believe me, if you go to the men and women of the Austin Police Department, there have been tears shed. It's not just by me. Because in 2007, this 42-year-old kid showed up, not realizing completely what he was getting himself into, going to another state, didn't know a single person in that organization, didn't bring anybody with me, and we've been on a ride for over 10 years. I want any of you that go to Austin PD and tell my cops I'm not one of them. See, leadership is earned. Respect is earned. Buy-in is earned. Talk is cheap. I'm going to demonstrate to these men and women that Mayor Turner made the right choice. Not for Mayor Turner, but for the city of Houston and for the men and women of the Houston Police Department. And by the way, if I say Austin for the next couple of months, please forgive me. It has been a decade. So I look forward to it. I'm a relationship builder, man. I mean, I'll probably be late, and my team, Matt Harmon told me, whatever you do, be on time. The problem is, I can't pass a cop without saying hi. I can't pass an employee without saying hi and getting to know them, because what we put into relationships, it's called emotional capital that you're building. I'm going to have to make some unpopular decisions sometimes. It is what it is. Sometimes they're going to love me, sometimes they're not. But if they know you care and they know your heart's in the right place, same thing for the community, they will stand with you, they will support you, and I look forward to earning that trust, respect, and support. Sí, señor.
My name is Carlos de Pavia with Telemundo. If we switch to Spanish for a little bit. En medio del ambiente político, la población inmigrante tiene temor de la autoridad. Usted viene de una ciudad de 1 millón de habitantes. Aquí hay 1 millón de hispanos.
¿De 2 millones?
1 millón de hispanos en Houston. Díganos, por favor, ¿qué les diría a usted si tienen un problema y les da miedo reportarlo a la policía? Y también otro problema que afecta a los hispanos es la trata de blancas. Entonces, temor a la policía y trata de blancas. En estos dos temas, ¿cómo les diría?
No entiendo qué es eso. ¿Trata de qué? Oh, human trafficking. Oh, yeah. Mire, para empezar, tienen que saber que este departamento vamos a enfocar a combatir el crimen. Si una persona es un testigo de a un crimen o es la víctima de un crimen, acuérdese que nosotros estamos aquí para combatir el crimen. Si no es criminal, no nos importa si es legal o ilegal, eso es un asunto para el gobierno federal, es un asunto para ICE, no es un asunto para nosotros. Y así que, como le dije en Austin por 10 años, el que es víctima y el que es testigo, adelante, aquí estamos para servirle. No tienen que tener temor. Y si no me creen, llamen a sus familiares en Austin para que aprendan que el departamento de nosotros, con este jefe, está ahí para apoyar al ser humano que respeta la ley y si es víctima o es testigo, no tiene que tener problema y no tiene que tener temor.
Personas.
El tráfico de personas es algo que vamos a combatir. Le voy a decir la verdad, si encontramos personas que muchos son víctimas, lo traen de otras partes del mundo, no solamente del centro de América, del sur de América, lo traen de China, de la China comunista, y lo traen aquí y lo convierten en esclavos. And so I'm talking about human trafficking. Y quiero que sepa la comunidad que si usted sabe algo, que alguien que está contra su deber, que está contra lo que quieren hacer, lo tienen en un lugar cosiendo todo el día, que llamen al 911, que aquí estamos para servirle. Gracias.
Acevedo, te dice Dios con Univisión.
¿Univisión?
Sí, con Univisión.
Telemundo, ok.
Univisión. ¿Usted planea alguna reestructuración? ¿Qué es lo que primero va a hacer cuando llegue a su oficina aquí en Houston?
Bueno, primero vamos a estudiar cómo está el departamento, cómo están las relaciones, cómo está todas las cosas que tenemos, cómo lo estamos usando, y después vamos a pensar, y después que estudie la situación vamos a tomar pasos para asegurar que estamos sirviendo esta comunidad y también este departamento de una manera mejor para lo que están pagando los impuestos, ¿no? que es lo que paga para nuestro departamento, y vamos a ver. Pero eso es el paso a paso, no hay apuro. El departamento de Houston no está roto, es un buen departamento, pero queremos hacerlo mejor todavía. What else?
Chief, Mike Morris, Houston Chronicle.
Hey,
Just
how are you?
wanted to follow up on the mention of retirements earlier, not only among the command staff, but among the rank and file. With the pension reform discussion, are you concerned that the real or perceived need for people to retire ahead of those changes will hamper your efforts?
You know, the thing about pension reform is I think that ultimately the worst thing that can happen to recruiting for police officers is to not have a viable, secure pension plan. And we know that being in public service for 30 years that pension reform is absolutely necessary, because if we don't, we're not going to have the defined benefit that police officers really count on, and it's one of the draws. A lot of these men and women are so talented they can make more money working in the private sector, but they forgo the salary for a great retirement. And so I don't foresee a huge exodus of 2,000 people. I think there will be folks that will retire. Like I said earlier, they should do what's right for their families, but we have to have pension reform. I completely support pension reform, because if we don't, I think we'll lose the defined benefit. And the defined benefit is something that is the Cadillac of pensions. A defined contribution is something that I think a lot of police officers wouldn't want that. We will have contingency plans. I promise you the sky won't fall. We got some talented people here. We will do what it takes to keep Houston safe. So I've got a lot of plans already. I remember the mayor, I can't remember which one, that 655 program, where we'll use salary savings to have overtime shifts. You know, the ones that remain behind, they'll make it work. One thing that makes cops great is that no matter the challenge, they always rise up to that challenge. They always meet that challenge, and I have no doubt that the men and women of the Houston Police Department will handle whatever the challenge is with great effect. So I'm looking forward to that. I think we'll be fine.
Chief, Florian Martin with Houston Public Media. I was wondering what you think will be the biggest differences in terms of your job here as opposed to Austin.
Hey, policing is policing. We all share some very common challenges. I think that the biggest difference is going to be that I'm starting again to, I'm re-energized. Yeah, a lot of people to meet, and there's a lot more ground to cover. But I'm just one person, like the mayor said. We're part of a team. We're on a cruise ship. It takes a lot of people to make that cruise ship work, to get to its destination, to make sure that when we see storms on the horizon, that we make the appropriate adjustment to our to the way we're heading somewhere. And I'm convinced that we'll be just fine. So, to answer it, man, I'm tired. I haven't slept in a few days. Anything else?
Any tweaks you're ready to start with tomorrow?
Huh?
You said you're not going to make whole-scale change, but tweaks. Are there any specific tweaks it's on your mind starting tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Tweets? Tweaks. Oh, the tweaks? Yeah, I'm going to move some of the furniture around in my office. You know, so those are really important. No, there's no tweaks. Hey, I could. What people don't get is the most replaceable person in the police department is the police chief. I mean, I am the least consequential person in this department. When you call 911, it's going to be Art Acevedo coming to your house. It's going to be a young man or woman, sometimes 23, 24 years old, sometimes older. They're what matters. And I'll tell the cops now, patrol's the backbone of policing. They are, the men and women on patrol is the backbone of policing. I still work patrol. Some critics will say, oh, he's just hot dogging it. No, I work patrol because I want to stay close to what matters most. And that's those men and women that stop a car in the middle of the night, not knowing who's at the other end, who's in that car, not having a clue who's in that car. The courage that those men and women have to exhibit to walk up on that car, not knowing what's there, or knocking on that door in the middle of the night, not knowing what's on the other side of that door, or when there's gunfire. I can't tell you how proud I am of, you know, we talk about firefighters, they run into the burning buildings, they're great, but you want cops to do that too. And when people are running away from gunfire, if you looked at what happened in Dallas and what happens throughout this nation, it's the young men and women in patrol that run towards that gunfire. They don't run away from that gunfire, and that are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice, which is they lay down their lives rather than serve from the path of duty. That I'm not sure if it's in our, that will be a tweak, by the way. There'll be two tweaks. One will be we will do uniform inspections at academy graduations, and we'll talk about that because it's important and the families love that. And the other one is I want to make sure that our oath of office as a police department has the line, I would rather swerve from the path of duty. I'd rather lay down my life than swerve from the path of duty. So, and that's what these men and women do every day. When they leave that patrol building, they know that that might be their last time. They might not make it back. And so I think I'm an unabashed fan of police officers. This is the best generation of police officers in the history of American policing. They're more scrutinized than any other profession. If we started putting in 24-hour news cycles every time a medical doctor negligently killed somebody or cut the wrong leg off, or that you went in for a kidney stone and you come out with, without a kidney, people would be going crazy. But this is truly the best generation of police officers in the history of American police. I believe that. Now, the reason I believe that is because I've lived it for the last 30 years. They're better than ever. And our task at hand is to make sure that we support the 99% and that we hold the 1% accountable. Because the one thing that I believe in my heart of hearts is that wearing this uniform, donning this uniform, and wearing this badge is a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege that we have to earn day in and day out. And my hope for the men and women that put it on the day that they swear in is that they swear, whatever they decide to serve, 25, 30, 40 years, whatever, my hope for them on graduation night is that they leave on their last day with the same sense of pride that they had on their first day when they walked across that stage and they got their badge pinned. So anyway, I just want to tell you all thank you for being here. To my family, I love you guys, and to my new HPD family, get ready, because I promise you it's going to be, if you've been to Disneyland, it's going to be HPD, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's going to be a ride of a lifetime. God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.